Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the chapter review part of the organization structure and employees. So here in this lesson we are going to talk about the chapter review case study of the Takir medical supplies. So this case study will be give some kind of a glance about the organization structure, the some kind of like a how to draw an organization chart and how to actually what are the main concept of such as chain of command, delegation, span of control, flat structure, tall structure, like that is a very good question to practice. So let's read this case study. Amjad Takir is a chairman of the Takir Medical Supplies. It's a growing company and distributes a range of medical equipment and dressing into hospitals and clinics in the UAE, Dubai. So it has a traditional structure, and the following information is given about the only the finance department, right? So this company only they're giving information regarding the finance department. There are certain department, right? Human resource, marketing, operations, IT. This is a financial department, right? So you can see these points. Finance director is in charge of the finance department. Okay, finance director post, and the department is divided into four sections. Four sections, each of which is run by a manager. So four managers are there, four sections and four managers. And these managers are the financial accountant and the cost accountant, third one purchasing manager, and the credit controller. These are four managers in finance department, namely finance accountant, cost accountant, purchasing manager, and credit controller. The financial accountant has two assistant accountants, and each of which have three accounts clerks working for them. So in the finance, first manager has two assistant accountants, and then each assistant accountant has another three accounts clerks working for them, because finance accountant part is actually a little bit like it's a large department, like a large section, because bookkeeping, vouching, and also bookkeeping and the journal entries, everything, ledger account maintenance, everything done by financial accountant. Uh, when maintaining financial records, financial statement preparation, taxation, everything. And the other manager, other department manager is a cost accountant. The cost accountant has only one assistant cost accountant, but no clerks. So financial account, you can see there are two assistant accountants, but they have everyone has three clerks, and then cost accountant only has one assistant cost accountant, but no clerks. And the purchasing manager has one supervisor and two purchasing clerks. And also last one, the credit control has no supervisor but or assistants, but has two clerks. So you can see that the organization structure. They're asking the first question: draw an organization chart for the finance department of the Takir Medical Supplies. And they're asking what is the span of control? The credit controller, that is span of control in the meaning the how much actually the people actually they directly control under them. And then the what is span of control of the cost accountant. And third question asking what is meant by the term chain of command. Use this case study as an example. And then asking the financial accountant often delegate works to assistant accountants. What is meant by delegation? Okay. And the other question, the HR manager has suggested that to the board of directors that Taki Medical Supply would benefit from having a flatter organization structure. Discuss the benefit of flatter organization structure. Give at least two benefits of your analysis. Okay. Now I'll will draw that chart. You can see the chart will be like this. You can see this case study, Taki Medical Supplies. The organization chart should be comes under financial department, and financial department under that there are four main managers are there. There are financial accountant, cost accountant, purchase manager, and credit controller. These are the four managers under financial director. So four departments are there, namely financial accountant, cost accountant, purchase manager, and credit controller. Under financial accountant, there are two assistant accountants are there. Under two assistant accountant, there are, you see each assistant accountant has two clerks, two clerks. Cost accountant has one assistant but no clerks. Purchase manager has one supervisor and two clerks. And credit controller has no supervisor level, but under him there are two clerks working. So what is the span of control for the credit control? You can see on this chart, the credit controller span of control is only two. The span of control of the credit control is only two. You can see only two clerks working under credit controller. And then the cost accountant span of control is only just one. Only one assistant accountant preparing it. So this is the span of control. And third question, what is meant by the term the chain of command? Use this case study as an example. So I would like to say it's like an outline question, like a 2-marker in an Excel. Chain of command is organized in chart, show the chain of command in a business. This is the path through which orders are passed down in the hierarchy. So orders will pass down through the layers from the top to bottom, right? For example, in this case, an order would pass from the chairman to the finance director, to the purchasing manager, on to the supervisor, and finally to the clerk. This is the chain of command. So I have to explain in a case study like this. So to give the orders will pass to the, you can see finance director, the top, and then this finance director is there, and then after that goes the purchasing manager. For example, you can say any manager you can see, but we just choose purchasing manager, and then after purchasing manager to a supervisor, and supervisor to the finally to the clerk. So this is the chain of command. So financial director, directly you can't talk with the clerk because there are certain different clerks are there and different subject clerks are there. So if you want to delegate some work, you want to have command something. So how the command chain of command will go? Finance director through purchasing manager through supervisor to clerk, like that. It's like that. So you can give example from the case study. Okay, the other question is the discussion question. They're asking delegation part. What is meant by delegation? So it's a kind of a outline question, can be explained question. The financial accountant often delegate work to the assistant accountants. What is meant by delegation? In some situations, it is appropriate for managers such as the financial accountants in this case to hand a task to a subordinate, right? So this is called delegation, handing task to subordinate. Although the assistant accountants will be carrying out tasks, the manager still have the responsibility. Even if you delegate work, the responsibility still lie with the person who delegate. However, the accountant's time can be saved. Yes, workload can be reduced, time can be saved, and if a subordinate complete the task. Some workers might enjoy carrying out delegated tasks, and they might think that more trust is being placed in them. So as a result, it's another motivation. So delegation is motivational because junior workers, so if you give more responsibility by the senior managers, so then after delegation of things, they might think that more trust is being placed in them. So you will feel like delighted because then you are identify, okay, the boss actually trusts me. So I'm a loyal worker, like that. However, others think that managers are just avoiding work. There are two sides of delegation. So delegation is motivational, but sometimes some people may think, okay, this is just manager is lazy to work, he avoiding the work, he just passing the ball to others. It's like that. There are two methods of like a main delegation has two views are there. So you must get what is delegation, giving the like a power or kind of a situation like such as financial account in this case, and handing over the task to their subordinate. So handing over task to subordinate is known as a delegation, right? So delegation is good and the delegation is bad. So this is a question, a good question for let's say like a analyze question. Analyze the impact of delegation, or let's say outline a delegation, 2-marker, even explain. So it's a good question, right? Okay, let's go to the last question, the 5th question, discussion question from this case study. You can see the next page. The HR manager has suggested to the board of the Turkey medical supplies would benefit from having a flatter organization structure. Flat structure. Discuss the benefits of flatter organization structure. Give at least 2 benefits in your analysis. So this question should be analyze question, 6-marker question. So because no discussion question, the command discussion is not there in our syllabus anymore. So it's actually analyze. So analyze means you can write discuss the benefit or analyze the benefit of flat organization structure. So give at least 2 benefits. Yes, every analyze question you have to write 2 points. two BLT points. You can see like 2 points, 1 point and development, 1 point and development. So 1 mark for the development, 2 mark for the application. This goes like that. AO2 and AO3 we are normally checking in analyzed question. So they are asking benefits of flat structure. There are two structures are normally tall and flat. So with look at the answer here given, model answer. With a flatter organization structure, there will be fewer layers in the hierarchy. That's a kind of a small introduction. What is flat structure? There will be a fewer layers in the hierarchy. One of the benefit of this is that there will be a fewer managers in flat structure, few managers, right? And therefore money will be saved. Because flat structure, there is no that much layers in the organization. We can't see. It's called delayering. So few layers, wide span of control. One person manage the whole department. So that's called flat structure. Tall structure, you have many layers, short span of control, and like a tall structure is like that, short span of control, and like a long chain of command. But flat structure is a short, you can see wide span of control and short chain of command. So with flat structure, there will be a few layers. One of the benefit is that there will be a few managers, and therefore money will be saved. Managers often command higher salaries, and non-managerial employees to the savings could be quite significant. The money saved might be spent on something more productive in the business. The money saved might be spent on something more productive in the business. So product development, for example. So that's a ideology here, but cost is a kind of a cost cutting method, because organizations becoming a flatter means then some amount of money, the cost can be saved. How? Because delayering, you can actually reduce the layers of the staff. That means like you can reduce some kind of positions. Therefore, cost can be saved, and they're saying that reduce cost, the amount of money can be used. That's called the analysis point. This will be used to, therefore, this money can be used for productive way in a business, such as R&D, research and development, or new product development, for example. Look at the second benefit. Another benefit of the flatter structure is that communication in the organization might be improved. Communication improved, yes, because in wide span of control, always communication, always, because layers are low means that quick communication. If you have 4 or 5 layers, it will take some time to pass the message to the bottom. But if you have few layers, if one person only, there are only 2 layers, easily what happens, the top management can easily communicate the decisions to the bottom. So that's the ideology here. The second benefit, communication will be improved. This is because the chain of command is shorter, and there is less distance for messages to travel, and this might encourage more communication, particularly from the bottom up. This might encourage more communication, particularly from the bottom up. And it might also speed up communications, since there will be fewer layers of management. It might also speed up communications, since there will be fewer layers of management for messages to pass through. Right? Speed up the communications, few layers of management to messages to pass through. This might allow business to serve its customer more easily. You can talk about the customer satisfaction will be good. For example, a request from a customer for a special delivery might be granted more quickly if approval is faster to obtain. Yeah, you can see sometimes, so in a long chain of commands, this kind of situation, like a customer request and everything, approvals, so it will take so much time, and because of the bureaucracy, because of the bottom, is to delegate the work, it will take some time. So many layers, so many officials to sign the documents. Therefore, it will take long time to process the decisions. But in a short chain of command situation, the flat structure, it will quickly you can get the approval. It's very fast to obtain. So these are the main things. So that we talk about mainly from this chapter review question, right? So now that's the end of the chapter. So today we will start the next chapter. We will see departmental functions, the new part under human resource management, under people in business. So Organization structure is fine, that's okay. So departmental functions under here, we are going to discuss today mainly the mainly what are the departments and what are their functions. You can see here the learning objective of this chapter. You see here, like we're talking about different departments such as human resource department function, understand the finance function, understand the marketing function, understand the production function. So I'm going to, in this session, I'm going to discuss mainly, especially the human resource departmental functions today. And in another session, we'll talk about the other functions as well, because there are a lot to discuss in departmental functions. Right. As a student who are doing like a human resource management in your course, so you must be able to know what are this department, and you must have a general idea what are the departmental functions of each and every department. Because one day you might work in any department. If you become an executive, or if you become a chairman, or if you become in future, you can sometimes you already might be a chairman of a company, or you might be already an executive. When you might be like you must have dreams to become some kind of a company director or company chairman one day. So definitely you should have to know what are the departments in an organization. So this is general business management theory. So general knowledge also really, really important to know these things, right? Getting started, you can see the way business is divided into departments is vary according to the size and the needs of the business. For example, a small engineering business might have just two departments, production and sales. Yeah. So which is a small business. Sometimes there is no department at all, like a one-man show, right? For example, if it's grocery, it's only just a one-man show, or it's a partnership, right? Only partners, only two partners managing the entire business organization. There is no department. So everything, finance, production, marketing, everything handled by one person. That's dependent on the organization structure and the capacity. But here you can see a formal organization, imagine a big organization, a bank, or it can be a public listed company, large multinational company. Departmentalization is really important, because then the work and the workload can be done accurately, and the systematically, the productivity efficiency can be improved. So however, as business grow, many are likely divided the organization into four traditional departments. There are only four traditional departments, but there are more. I'll tell you what are the other departments as well. Four traditional departments that you make sure to know is production, marketing, human resource, finance. Production, marketing, HR, finance. Right? Apart from this, there are other things as well, because there are main four is these things: production, marketing. Production department produce the goods mainly. Market department, they go and sell that items and bring money to the department. Human resource department actually is responsible for handling the employees of the organization, recruitment, selection, motivation, all that stuff. And finance department, they are the one who actually managing the finance, pay them salaries, and providing financial documents to the decision makers, owners, managers, right? So finance department is like a treasurer. So these things are really important. But if I ask what is the most important department, right? You can't pick any department, because everything is important. Everything is important for the business. Without finance, difficult. Without HR, difficult. Without marketing, there's no income to come to this. They are the one who go and sell, work in the field. Production department, they are responsible for the manufacturing part, so operations part. But imagine there's no production department, then difficult in organization to run. Sometimes they don't, some organizations they don't have production department, but they have to purchase from sometimes from other people. It's called retailers. What they do, this is the thing. Even wholesalers also, what they do, like they are not manufacturing business. These are tertiary sector business. What they do, they actually purchase something from manufacturers in sometimes Far East, Vietnam, or even China, and then they are without manufacturing, without production, so they go and bring it up and they import an items and they are selling it in their country. So that's also important. So then those organizations, they don't have a production department, but has a marketing, HR, and finance department. But they might have a purchasing department, because they are not manufacturing, so they are purchasing from others. So purchasing is also really important. So if you do some value addition, definitely you must have production department. Or sometimes imagine your IT sector. If you work in the IT sections, you must have IT department definitely. Even in the school, you must have IT department because school computer systems must be there. The database administrator must be there. So IT department must be there. Right? Imagine if it's a pharmaceutical company, apart from the production, marketing, HR, finance, you must have R&D also, research and development. Company like Apple Incorporation, Samsung Incorporation, there's a R&D, research and development is a really important department in the organization. Like that, it depends on the main traditional departments are these things: production, marketing, HR, finance. But time to time, there are certain department, R&D, research and development, purchasing department, right? IT department, and sometimes logistics also sometimes in the business is very important. Transport is the transportation business service provider. So logistic department also really important. Logistic manager, logistic department like transporting department. Like that, so there are certain new like departments can be there. In a hotel, if you say this is totally different. Hotel we call it's let's say food and beverage, housekeeping department. Uh, okay, this one like the chef, the kitchen area, so the kitchen department, everything like that. There are certain terms are different in different businesses, but mainly you must know the departments are these things. Look at the case study, the Sushi solution. The Sushi solution is marketing solution is a marketing agency based in Paris, France. So it employs 150 staff. So and it's just, then it's a you can see not a small business. To be a small business, how many employees you should have? 50, 50 employees. To become a large business, how much employees you must have? 250. So this is the 150 employees mean this is not either small or not either large. So it's a medium-sized business because it's in between 50 and 250, right? So it says 150 staff and divided into 6 departments, right? As I told you, apart from the 4 traditional departments, there are can be more. So what are department? HR, finance, advertising, graphic designing is another important department. Graphic designing, social media, there's another social media department, and also public relations, PR department. So Patricia Renard is the head of the human resource department, Patricia, and the job is to supervise the recruitment and selection process and ensure that employees' welfare needs are met. She also meets with other heads of the department on a regular basis and is responsible for the 6 staff that in a department. Andre Druel works on the human resource department. Example of the task carried out with Andre is following: organizing and delivering induction training. So HR department function I'm talking. So he's working under Patricia. So he's carried out in this function. You can see organizing and delivering induction training, helping Patricia with the interviews and selection, dealing with the staff grievances. So let's see, there's a new word you found out today. What is grievance? And liaising with the trade unions. So grievance mean, you can see the vocabulary they're given, believe that you have been treated unfairly or an unfair situation or event that affects or upset you. Grievance means sometimes it's like a situation that being upsets you. Dealing with the staff grievances, we can see problems, issues. Dealing with staff issues. Sometimes imagine, let's say, staff have a problem. One person in a department, he has a complaint about the bullying. Sometimes you get bullied by someone. So this should be go and complain to the human resource department, right? So that's right. So who deal with this? This Andre Druel. So Andre Druel is the person, this kind of a thing who deal with the grievances. We call a special name. We call ombudsman. Ombudsman. So it's not mentioned there, but it's the person who deal with the staff grievance handling. We call ombudsman. He's a person who listen to their problems. Sometimes it can be internal issues, sometimes external issues. Sometimes imagine like say there's one worker who has let's say sick parents. His mother or father is sick, very sick, and he need to hospitalize. So he needs some help. So he go and tell this information, tell this upset thing, he go and tell it to the human resource department. Go and, it's not a complaint kind of a thing, it's a request or something. You can see, sir, I have this issue. My father or my mother having this thing, so he's need to do a surgery, undergone a surgery. So I don't have money or something to do that surgery. Can you please help me? So I mean, this is one example I'm telling. So like that, this is an example of a staff grievances. They are going, because if you're upset like that, you can't be productive. No? You're not, even you can't motivate. You don't have that motivation to work. So as a human resource department, you should actually look after these matters of your staff members. Sometimes it can be personal matters. Sometimes it can be private matters. Sometimes it can be family matters. It can be sometimes within the organization. Sometimes it can be sometimes like a bullying problem, as I told you. So these things must be handled carefully. Listen to these things. So it's called grievance handling. That was one part of the HR. And liaising with trade unions. What is liaising? So liaison officer is the other, this person who is responsible for this liaison officer. Maintain the relationships. Liaison officer means like person who contact with, kind of like a mediator, kind of like a, yeah, it's a kind of a like a settlement maker, like a person who actually make a relationship with this trade union. What is a trade union? That name was really important. Right? Trade union is an organization usually in a particular trade or profession that represent workers, especially in meetings with employees, trade union workers. So it's a kind of a, it should not actually go with the politics, but you can see a lot of countries like India, Sri Lanka, Kenya. These trade unions are backed by political influences are there. So trade unions is like a organization, like a people collection of the workers who actually stand for their rights. So usually a particular trade or profession that represents some workers, especially they go and representation. So if some workers have some problem, let's say salary increments, you can go and talk with these issues to the people in the upper management. You can go and talk with these things. Right, raising trade union. Okay, right. You can see the describe the role of the human resource department of SUSI solution. Discussing groups why it might be advantage to divide the business in a SUSI solutions in different. You can see like a main functions. You can see human resource department. There are certain functions are there. You can see recruitment, selection, training, everything. So many things are there for the organization. But this case study, you can see. I'll go to the. Share you what are the main we need to know. Human resource department is responsible for the welfare of the employees in a business organization, and in a business it has provided a wide range of duties and responsibilities. For example, in a SUSI solution, Patricia Renard is head of the human resource department, right? And also her job is to supervise the recruitment and selection process and ensure that employees' welfare needs are met. And she also meets with other heads of the department on a regular basis and responsible for the 6 staff who work in her department. Another employee, Andre Rural, also works in the human resource department. An example of this task carried out by Andre, including organizing and delivering induction training, helping Patricia with the interviews and selection, dealing with the staff grievances, and communicating with trade union. Or liaison is the trade union, so communication, right? Okay. Right. So this is important, right? The advantages, the kind of departmentalization is good. Why? Because if you have departmentalized like that, it's being efficient. You can actually have work. Actually, you can nicely organize, and as a result of that, you must be able to efficiently run your organization smoothly without any problems. Because all the functions that your working department being addressed by someone, because everyone is responsible for something, because organization will be smoothly run as a result of this. So you can find out human resource department. Okay, you go to the next page, you can find out main functions run by the human resource department. Traditionally, business have mainly 4 departments, as I told you: HR, human resource, finance, marketing, and production. HR, human resource department. So now new term for this is actually called people, people manager or personal manager. Simply we call HRM or human resource manager. And the human resource personal department. It's called personal department. The new term they're given here in the textbook. Personal department is responsible for the welfare of the employees, employee welfare, right? But sometimes they are taking the disciplinary actions as well. Sometimes the workers is actually make a mistake. Sometimes, organization they administer them. Sometimes imagine if you sometimes doing some kind of disciplinary problem, sometimes bullying case, sometimes you found that some worker found out actually bring like intoxicated and work, and then sometimes being late to work. Sometimes this kind of issues, sometimes human resource department are like they are administering all that functions, all that issues they will handle. So main functions of the human resource department, they are given here: workforce planning, recruitment and selection, training, health and safety, staff welfare, employment issues, industrial relations, especially like union actions, right? And also disciplinary and grievance procedures, dismissal, sometimes the firing, hiring, firing, everything. Dismissal is responsible for giving formal warning to workers. They have power, authority to do that as well. And redundancy. Redundancy means make people that's what else you can see. Redundancy means kind of a procedure. You tell them to like a go home, like a laid off staff. So this will be actually you must give some written notice before, because in case of COVID-19, you are closing the factory, so make them redundant. Redundancy means because not because of their disciplinary action or something, because of the organization, because they don't have work to do, so they are unprofitable. So as a result of that, management board of directors can make a decision to shut down some department or some factory completely or temporarily. Then we can make them redundant. You can see during the COVID-19, a lot of airlines do the redundancy thing. But if you make workers redundant, you have to pay them redundancy payment. Also important, like, because you can't tell them to go home, right? So it is actually forced, because workers, so they have their own life and they have loans and everything, commitments, but organization has to pay them some kind of compensation we call redundancy payment, right? So these things we'll discuss in another session. Very important things, one by one. We'll take examples and we'll talk about. So today, to wrap up the lessons, I'll again summarize what we discussed today. Is to talk about the first of all the chapter review of the organization structure, the Thakur Medical Supplies in Dubai. We talk about that graph, and then how delegation and everything is important for the department, the importance of having a flat structure. We discussed that. And after that, today we start the new chapter, chapter 24, departmental functions. After that, we take some introduction of the 4 important departments of the business, namely HR, finance, marketing, and production. And we talk about this case SUSI solution for the human resource department they are doing. So it gives an introduction part for the human resource department, and we talk about the so many factors, the functions of responsibilities of HR department: recruitment, selection, training, motivation, health and safety, staff welfare, everything, right? So these things actually, that's the lesson we discussed today. In my next session, I'm going to discuss this one in detail, right? So let's meet on the next session. Okay, thank you.